She was a 19-year-old honor student with her future mapped out and her family just hours away on the other end of the phone. By sunrise, she was dead beneath a 17-story Austin high-rise. Police moved quickly to label it a suicide. Her mother says that conclusion is impossible. Witnesses describe chaos. A powerful attorney says the investigation was careless at best. Today, we examine the case of Brianna Aguilera and break down what really happened in her final hours and why this case refuses to settle. Welcome to True Crime, the real story. Now, this is not a story about rumors or speculation. This is a story about timelines, evidence, and unanswered questions surrounding the death of Texas A&M student Brianna Aguilera. In this episode, we walk through the night she died, the official police narrative, the family's objections, attorney Tony Busby's explosive claims, and the witness accounts that challenge what authorities say happened. This is the full story, as it stands right now. On November 29, 2025, 19-year-old Brianna Marie Aguilera, a sophomore student at Texas A&M University's Bush School of Government and Public Service, was found dead outside a high-rise apartment in the West Campus area of Austin. She had fallen approximately 17 stories from a balcony at the 21 Rio Apartments complex in the early morning hours, just hours after attending a football tailgate for the rivalry game between Texas A&M and the University of Texas. Aguilera's death sent shockwaves through her community, with classmates, relatives, and many who knew her, describing a vibrant, academically driven young woman with ambitions of becoming a lawyer. Her death has since become the center of a bitter and highly publicized dispute between her family, their legal team, and the Austin Police Department. Within weeks of the incident, the APD publicly addressed its investigation. Officials confirmed that detectives responded to a report early on Saturday morning of an unconscious woman at the Rio Grande Street apartment complex. Upon arrival, officers found Aguilera unresponsive below from the high-rise and pronounced her dead at the scene. In a December 2025 news conference, APD leadership announced that based on their investigation up to that point, they believed Aguilera's death to be a suicide. During that announcement, police revealed they had located digital evidence on Aguilera's phone, including what they characterized as a deleted suicide note and recent messages in which she discussed suicidal thoughts with friends. Police also stated that Aguilera had made comments to her contacts suggesting possible self-harm ideation before the fall. APD officials acknowledged the emotional weight of any suicide determination, but emphasized that they shared the tragic news to confront misinformation circulating around the case. The department maintained that no evidence of criminal activity had been uncovered and that there were no indications that foul play was involved. They also stated the case was active and that the official cause and manner of death would ultimately be determined by the Travis County Medical Examiner's Office. In a later APD statement, leadership emphasized their investigation remained open and ongoing, and they reaffirmed their commitment to a thorough investigation while denying they had conclusively closed the case or prematurely determined cause of death. From the moment they were notified, Aguilera's parents expressed doubt that their daughter died by her own hand. Stephanie Rodriguez, Aguilera's mother, began publicly raising serious questions about the official narrative, disputing that her daughter would have chosen suicide and asserting that the circumstances did not make sense. Rodriguez described Aguilera as joyous, optimistic about her future, and not someone who exhibited signs of suicidal intent, according to her own conversations and recent interactions with her daughter. Rodriguez recounted that she last spoke to Brianna around 6 p.m. the evening before she was found. The phone's sudden silence and appearance to go into do not disturb mode was unusual for her daughter, who always kept location services on and maintained regular communication with family as a matter of routine. Rodriguez also noted that her daughter's phone was reportedly found in a purse that had been thrown into wooded terrain, raising further questions about what happened in the hours leading up to her death. In Facebook posts and media appearances, Rodriguez directly challenged APD's conclusions. She wrote that Brianna would not jump 17 stories from a building and labeled the suicide characterization as insane. Rodriguez also claimed that friends and others who were present the night of her death hastily left the scene and that there was a lack of transparency from authorities. The parents retained Houston attorney Tony Busby, a high-profile lawyer known for taking on complex, contested cases, to represent them and seek accountability. Busby publicly criticized what he described as an inadequate and incompetent investigation by the Austin Police Department, asserting that APD did not have the authority to prematurely announce a cause of death before the medical examiner had completed an autopsy and toxicology. In December 2025, Busby held a press conference alongside the Aguilera family, where he reiterated his belief that the investigation was mishandled and that significant investigative steps were either skipped or incomplete. He specifically dismissed the police's characterization of the suicide note, referring to it as an essay and questioning its standing as a genuine indication of self-harm intent, noting that Aguilera had taken creative writing courses and could have drafted such a text for other reasons. Busby also pointed out that at the time of his comments, the autopsy, toxicology, and other forensic findings had not yet been finalized, meaning a final determination was not officially in hand. Adding to his critique, Busby cited a TikTok video and other witness reports that, according to him, suggested a tumultuous scene at the apartment shortly before Aguilera's fall. In the videos and statements, people describe hearing the screams of a woman and an altercation that may have preceded the fall, including shouting that could be construed as a struggle, "Get off me," though police have not confirmed these details. In early January 2026, during another press update, Attorney Busby presented testimony from a neighbor who lived across the hall from the apartment where Aguilera fell. According to this witness, there were loud noises, arguing, and the sound of people exiting the apartment before the fall. She described arguing voices around midnight, followed by a period of silence and intermittent movement, which she said did not entirely sync with the timeline previously put forward by APD, specifically the characterization that friends had left before Aguilera's fall and that only a portion of people were present at the time. The neighbor also asserted that she and her parents had not been interviewed by police and that the only contact from authorities had come by way of a generic email sent to residents of the complex. This witness further claimed APD never entered the apartment unit during their investigation, a claim authorities have not publicly addressed in detail. Busby's team also filed a wrongful death lawsuit in Travis County against two organizations, Austin Blacks Rugby Club and the UT Latin Economics and Business Association, alleging that they negligently overserved alcohol to Aguilera and other minors at the football tailgate. The lawsuit contends that illegal alcohol service may have played a role in Aguilera's impaired state that night, contributing to the tragic outcome, and seeks recoveries up to at least $1 million for damages and punitive relief. Throughout the mounting public dispute, Austin police have continued to maintain that they stand by their information and that inaccurate public assertions and speculation have caused harm, including harassment of innocent individuals connected to the case or investigation. Police leaders have repeatedly emphasized that the investigation remains open and that no official manner of death has been formally declared until all forensic evidence is reviewed, though their prior public remarks indicated a working belief in suicide. APD has also noted that multiple detectives continue to interview witnesses, gather evidence, and assess all available data as part of a methodical and ongoing process. However, the lack of publicly shared new forensic findings, combined with the family's legal actions and public statements, has made the investigation a matter of significant dispute in both legal and media forums. Amid the legal and investigative battles, Texas A&M honored Aguilera and several other students in its Silver Taps Memorial Ceremony, a long-standing tradition held to commemorate recently deceased students. The tribute underscored Aguilera's roles as a scholar, a cheerleader, a friend, and a beloved family member. Family members, friends, and countless supporters have continued to publicly mourn her loss, sharing memories and vowing to pursue answers about what truly occurred during her final hours. Questions about communication lapses, timeline discrepancies, physical evidence, and witness testimony persist, fueling a broader conversation on law enforcement protocols, investigative transparency, and the rights of families to pursue independent inquiries. The investigation by the Austin Police Department remains open and active. The Travis County Medical Examiner's Office has yet to publicly release definitive autopsy or toxicology findings. The family's legal team has pursued civil action and is pushing for an independent review, including potentially by the Texas Rangers. Witness accounts and alternate timelines continue to be presented, fueling public debate about the official narrative. The death of Brianna Aguilera remains unresolved in the eyes of those who knew her best. Police maintain there is no evidence of foul play. Her family insists critical questions were ignored. Attorneys continue to push for accountability, and witnesses say the truth may still be incomplete. Until final forensic findings are released and every lead is fully examined, this case remains open not just legally, but morally. This is True Crime, the real story.